Hey guys, sorry for interrupting. I'm Lou Nieves Jr. alongside
Jesse Torres.
and this is episode 36. Wow. So, what is that?
Did you clap?
Yeah, we clap all the time. And we recently put out an episode last week where I wasn't there. I mean, I was physically there, but I wasn't there in the episode. It was actually Jessie and her sister Jennifer. And I thought it was a very interesting conversation between the two, and also the first time Jessie hosted. So how was that? Tell us your emotions going into that episode. Like going into the episode, like, you know, the whole mentality, getting yourself prepared because you're now the host. I wasn't there, and
so when you first talked about it, and you said, "Hey, babe, I think you should do a podcast with your sister." I'm like, yes, definitely. It's my sister. I'm down for it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until we first started recording.
Mm-hmm.
Then it hit me. Even the beginning of the intro, like, I'm going to be the one hosting it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, ugh. Like, I'm always just like, you know, I follow your lead.
Mm-hmm.
So for it to be me leading it, it was just nerve-wracking. And I was just like, how many times did we just do it? Like, we were redoing it.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it's called. And it was, for me, it was nervous. But then it was just like, all right. Then I had to go into prayer. And I'm like, I'll be back. I need to go pray. Because how I'm feeling is not right. And then, excuse me, once again. Then we came and I was just like, all right, God, you lead the way. And he was my leading, and it just like flowed, and it was great. It was great to have my sister on.
Mm-hmm.
For those that know, me and my sister are very close.
Mm-hmm.
So having her on the podcast and us sharing our journey, or actually her more on where she's been, where she's going, and all that, it was great. It's great to have her. It was great to have her.
Yeah, I thought the idea. So initially, what happened, as Jessie was saying, we talked about it before in previous episodes where I said there going to be a episode where it's just going to be ladies, and of course at this time we can't have that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's going to be an episode with the guys, and I said, you know, what if you and your sister just do an episode? You guys talk all the time. You guys are always communicating with one another. Just get on and do it. And if you watch the last episode, you see how that came to light. Even Jennifer, prior to even me mentioning it to her, was feeling it too. So it was just destined to happen, and I'm glad you guys did it. You did a great job. So
thank you.
If you haven't seen that, I will put the link. Man, I always mess this up.
This way. I think.
It might be even on top of me, but whatever. Anyway,
I think it is on top of you.
Yeah, I always mess those up. They call cards. So, you know, I thought it was good, and it was very well put together between you guys. And it was my first time engineering, which was fun for me. You know, I was in the background. I was controlling everything. Pretty much what I do now, you know, but just I wasn't in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And I thought it was good. And then today, Jessie and I originally didn't know where we wanted to do it. Because as you can see, this is our old background. We haven't been here for a couple episodes. It's all still in the same house, but we did buy a backdrop to elevate the podcast and do something different and something new, and people loved it. Mm-hmm. And I figured, you know, this is episode 36. You know, it's always good to go back sometimes and revisit what helped start the YouTube channel podcast prior to when we just had audio. And I said, what if
you guys miss it?
Yeah, I mean, you probably do. I don't know. I know some people like this background. I still love it. I think it's great.
I love both.
Yeah, I think they're both great. And I said, let's do something really different. What if we recorded our podcast outside? And she was like, yeah, that sounds cool. I said, yeah, pick a park because you know the area better than me, and let's go out and record. And then woke up this morning, and it was kind of windy, and I was like, man, the days before they weren't so windy. They're actually really nice. You know, what's going on? I said, maybe. And she was like, oh, it's early. It was like 7:30 in the morning, and I said, you know, you're right. And we got ready, and we went to the park. Well, before that, we were gonna go to the roof, but and the roof was locked. We were just trying something different. We just wanted to, you know, spark things up a little bit. So we get to the park, and before we get to the park, oh man, I keep forgetting these things. Before we went to the park, we went to Dunkin' Donuts to get breakfast, and our initial reaction is whenever you go to order something, you're expecting to get your order, right? So Jesse places the order, and even she said, like, I don't think she got it right. And I was like, oh, you never know. And we got our food. The lady was missing a straw. She gave her cream cheese in a packet.
Instead of putting it inside the bagel.
Inside the bagel. She didn't give me ketchup for my sandwich.
And she didn't give us napkins.
She didn't give us napkins. And Jesse asked to have the inside scraped out.
Yeah, because I liked my my bagel scooped out.
Yeah, and none of that was done. And I said, that's life, right? Like, to expect the unexpected, you know, like we expect something from others. Like if we place an order, we expect to get what we place, right? And it happens all the time. And you didn't get that. It's frustrating, you know, and you also get that from people. Sometimes you expect you, like the old saying is, you expect you from them. And it doesn't happen that way. And then you're disappointed. So I remember Gary Vee said, if you want happiness, don't expect anything from anyone. And that's something that we live every day. We live that thing where in our lives where you have to go on without expecting anything. And we did expect, there was no wind. When we got to the park, it was windy.
There was wind. We were just like, oh, yeah. Alrighty then. So we're just gonna go back home and record here. But that goes also like in relationship where I can't expect you to be me.
Yeah, yeah.
So
it's happened.
I can't expect
happens
you
every day.
Only because I'm doing it some way that you do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, but there's certain things like Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Why didn't they put the cream cheese in the bagel?
Yeah, why didn't they give us napkins? Why didn't they give us the extra
ketchup
straw?
or the extra straw? Like we ordered the drinks. Like hello.
Yeah, yeah.
But
and you know, and you're absolutely right. And Jesse and I were totally different people, right? So Jesse is more, and I don't mean to say it may sound bad, but she's female. Usually females typically are categorized as the emotional one, right? But Jessie is more than just the emotional one. She's very emotional on all types of levels. And even when we got to the park, she got emotional. And I was like, what's wrong? And she said, because the life that we're living now, the life that we're in now, you would never had expected. And seeing people with masks walking around the park and having things blocked off and things limited to what you're so accustomed to.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's like we've been, it's 7 weeks now? 8 weeks? I don't even know how many weeks we've been.
I lost count. My cousin Kim has been counting down.
Yeah.
I think it's like 50
I think
days.
It's like 60,
I don't know.
Something. I don't know. Anyhow, Louis had mentioned, he was like, yeah, but like being that you're in healthcare and you're seeing this, why is this such a, like, why
is it like
such
surprise?
A surprise to you?
Yeah. You're seeing this
and
every day.
my thing is, I see it every day before this, right? Where people get sick, there's things happening. Now, working in healthcare and seeing patients and, okay, it's expected there. But for it to be a park where I used to go to, and just go for medication. Yeah, I'm going to go for,
Don't tell them that.
For meditation and just on a way, just to be free and walk. And I remember going to the park and just being there, just sitting and just having the wind hit me and just having that fresh air. And as I parked, I'm looking to the side and I'm like, wow, like things are being blocked off. There are signs all over. And I get it. It's great. Social distancing, 6 feet and being protective. And I'm all for that. But it just hurt me to see it because it's like, that's a place where I go to for just for peace and just calmness. And it's like kind of taken away because you have to wear a mask. You have to wear, and I'm like, how can someone jog or how can someone be walking and having this mask over yourself and you're taking kind of like that fresh air, like that, and it just hurt me. Not just saying that I'm against certain things. I'm just saying it just hurt me going to the park. This was the first time going to the park.
Yeah.
After this whole thing happened. So I got emotional. I was just like, it just hit me there that I was just like, wow, like seeing people passing by and, they're walking their dogs and everything. I was just like, wow, it was hurtful for me.
Yeah, it is. you know, it's the new normal, right?
And I am emotional. I've been very, very even more emotional.
And it is the new norm, unfortunately. This
Yes.
is the life that we're now living. Will it stay like this? No, I don't believe that. I do have faith that this will pass and healing will come. I just don't I don't expect Jesse to feel the same way I'm feeling. I never have, because not that I'm cold hearted. I think I just have accepted what's going on in the world where some people haven't yet. And not that Jesse hasn't accepted it. I just think that it's still like bleeding into the system of her, where it's like, yeah, I'm aware, but man, I just miss what life was. And you kind of like dismiss some of these things because it's something that you do every day. But then when it's, like I said it all the time, when it's taken away from you, you're like, oh wow, I miss doing that. That was just so easy for us. We can just walk into a store and walk right out. But you can't. Now you got to wait on the line. You have to be 6 feet away. You got to
have
wear
make
the
sure you
mask.
have
and-
your mask.
and then it can be very overwhelming. So when it comes to relationships, especially ours, I can't expect her to feel the same way I'm feeling, and she can't expect me to feel the same way she's feeling. It's always been that way. And sometimes that can spark arguments in a relationship where you guys are disagreeing because you expect them to understand, or you expect them to feel the same way as you. As if, for instance, let's say, not to be political, but let's say I was a Republican and Jesse was a Democrat. And, there are two different belief systems, but how can both people coexist? Or, for instance, let's say Jesse was an atheist and I was a believer. How can they coexist? Even though that there's love, their beliefs are different, and it can cause problems. And
Unless you know how to agree to disagree and like respect. I think it's respecting each other's opinion, where you're at, where that comes a long way as well.
yeah, and I'm sure, trust me, I'm sure there are relationships out there where there are people who have different belief systems, whether it be political, religious wise, whatever the case is, and they are still working with one another, but they don't expect the other one to feel the same way. They have accepted that person, and especially if they first meet for the first time, you have that opportunity to be like, you know what, if they don't believe in God, I don't know if I can do this. But if you are in the relationship, you both were both believers, let's say, and then one drifts off, like, you know what, I don't really believe in this anymore. That's when things can get a little rocky. Even though you still love the person hasn't changed. They still love you unconditionally. You love them. But now what you expect from them has now changed. And you can't be mad at them for now changing their opinion or changing their thought process. At the end of the day, if you want to step away because of their belief, that's on you, because it's not going to make you happy. But you can't expect happiness from them. You have to find happiness within yourself.
And I think we spoke about that previously on our other podcast, how you have to find your own happiness.
Yeah.
And like I was feeling this week about that, where I'm like, I'm not, everything around me, I'm okay. But there's something within myself that I'm not happy with. And I have to fill this up. I have to find out what it is that's deep down inside that's bothering me, what I need to fix, and I have to do it. Now, I can't expect you to fill up that tank when it's something within me that I have to fill.
Correct.
But now there's situations where in the past I will blame it on you because you haven't figured out what's going on with me. Now I feel like, well, you should know this. You should know how to fill my tank. And in that way where I'm expecting you to know this. But if I'm not verbally expressing to you what it is, if it's something between us, then of course.
Yeah.
But if it's something within myself, I need to feel myself happy. I have to do my own happiness in order for us to have this come together.
Yeah.
But I cannot expect you to feel what I'm missing within myself because,
Yeah, and
that makes any
I think
sense.
now more than ever, people are doing things to fill in voids because there are so many things that are now limited to us, right? So for me, my happiness, I'm happy. I'm not saying that I'm not, but I do miss entertainment, and that entertainment is like going to the movies, or going out to the city to take photos or things like that, which I can still go. I mean, I can't go to a movie theater with clothes, but I can go and venture out. But then I'm putting my life at risk, and then I'm going to be putting others' life at risk. So I don't want to do that, right? So to fill that void, I can't expect Jessie to start performing in front of me and do a stand-up show. You know, she ain't that funny. But nah, she is
Okay.
funny. But what I'm saying is like, there's only so much YouTube or Netflix or Hulu or things like that.
Entertainment that you see, yeah.
Yeah.
You just get
So
sick and tired sometimes.
so then I can't expect her to fill that void. So what did I do? I went and bought a PlayStation, right? I think we talked about this before. And that has given me communication with friends from a distance, where I'm actually online playing with them, laughing, joking, talking about their day, or just having random conversations and playing and just having a good time. And I'll be there sometimes for a couple hours and I'm happy. And then I get my quick fix and I'll go back to life. And then me and Jessie, we just live our lives. You know, we do things, but I can't expect her to feel that for me. She can't do that, you know, and I can't do it for her. So
That's
you
what
do
you
have
have
to
to
find
find,
your
yeah.
own happiness. Yeah, it's completely true. The thing is that in life you do have expectations, right? And I can say that, am I happy with our podcast? Yes. Do I expect it to do better in some episodes? Yeah, because I feel like sometimes our topics are great, but they don't do the numbers that we see in certain other episodes. And it's like, wow, like I gotta do better. I gotta do more. And maybe it's not that. Maybe you have to make a shift. Maybe you have to promote differently. But I can't expect the numbers to always go up because the topic was great between us. I don't know if you can agree with that topic. We just got to continue to put out content and
do it for us
Yeah.
because we love doing this.
not do it for the numbers.
Yes, not do
Yeah.
it for the numbers. We love doing this. We're
Yeah.
expecting that we're going to get high numbers,
Yeah.
but we cannot have the expectation on
Yeah.
the viewers because we don't know what's going on in their
Yeah.
lives and what they're doing. So we can't put out videos just to get the numbers.
Yeah.
We have to do this because we love it and we're going to constantly, be
Yeah.
consistent with it and just and we've spoken about this before.
Yeah.
Be consistent with it. So a lot of the stuff we're expecting unexpected.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we got to go into there blindfolded. You know, like, you know, whatever happens, happens. If someone watches it, that's great. If someone has some comments, whether it be negative or positive, that's even better.
It's welcome.
You know, if you have any feedback, you know, all these things, we don't expect them. In the beginning, I was like that. Jessie wasn't. I was like, because I was already doing YouTube prior to this, and I've done podcasts prior to this, so I kept expecting more and more. But I can't put that expectation on the viewers, on the listeners, because they can't feel my happiness. Me having this conversation with Jessie and sharing it with you is my happiness. You know, if it goes viral, if it goes higher, yeah, that's great. We're gonna be making a year in when, September? And you think about it, that's what, another 16
You're
episodes?
on our podcast.
Yeah, a year in our podcast. That's like 16 episodes
Yeah.
from 36. That'll be 52. So it's 52 weeks in a year or whatever. And I'm thinking about it like, wow, we have gotten so far in this short time, but I feel like it's been forever because we only do one episode a week. And we've even talked about doing maybe 2 episodes a week, maybe more going live. Maybe we'll get more creative and expect better numbers.
Yeah.
Better equipment,
But then-
expect better numbers. Like,
Whoever watches this and has been in the game for such a longer time.
yeah, they're looking at us like, yo,
They're
y'all,
like, you guys
no.
just started. Like,
Yeah.
even though it feels like forever for us.
Yeah.
But we just started compared to like those people who have been on it for like 5 years, 6
10 years, yeah.
Like, they've been doing it, and it's, like, we expect to be like, damn, we want to get to that level.
Yeah.
But literally, we just walked into the door of
Yeah.
this, like, YouTube
Yeah.
live, podcasting.
Yeah.
All this, like, this is all new, really.
Yeah.
Even though we feel like we've been on it forever.
yeah, and that can be, you know, misinterpreted sometimes too. People will look at it like, oh, you guys are. They look at it like, what are you guys doing this for? They see the numbers, they see the episodes. Wow, 36 episodes, and they're not even famous yet. Like, whoa, hold your horses. I mean, there are some people that done maybe 50 episodes, and now they got 10 million followers.
Yeah.
To each his own.
People's expectation could always is that
Yeah.
their expectations.
I never look at it as a race, you know, that was saying, I look at it as a marathon. You know, we're taking our time, we're perfecting our craft, learning the ins and outs of this whole podcasting world. And even in our relationship, we're still taking our time. Like, me and Jessie aren't married, and it's something that we talk about all the time. Now, does Jessie expect a ring anytime soon. I'm sure she does. We talk about it all the time. We want to get married, but that what has been expected of her, and I'm just speaking for you because we talk about this all the time, has altered our direction because of everything that's going on. You know, with her school and work and just life in general. Not that it's not going to happen, but the way we wanted it to happen and have people there and enjoy the celebration with us, that has kind of taken from us. Yeah. And is that going to stop the process? No. You know, we'll have that time together where we celebrate with everybody, and we have like a dinner or something like that. But right now, in this moment that we are in, it's changed everything. So that expectancy of having people, and I'm gonna stop saying expectancy or expecting, or I probably said it like 15 times.
The main word of the show
Yeah.
is expectation.
Yeah, word of the day. Yeah, like Sesame Street.
Let's do Dashi. How do you spell it? E.
You don't know who Dashi is? You gotta look it up on
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah, Dashi Games. He's funny, but people, I lost my train of thought for a second.
That it has changed what we planned and what we expected
Yeah.
for it to go in our direction.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure this has changed a lot of relationships,
Yeah.
especially if you don't live with one another. And we know people to this day that are still dating, but at a distance. They FaceTime, they text, they phone call. It's like a long distance relationship. And I think that can be tough at this time because are you in it for one another? Are you gonna be like my ride or die for this moment? And this can actually test of what you're gonna do. You know, and if people are taking it serious, right, like keeping the distance, especially if they work in the medical field and they may come home with the COVID virus, you may put your boyfriend or girlfriend in danger because of that interaction of going back and forth, and you don't want to do that, so you keep your distance, you know. And it can be tough being either single in this time because you are no longer going out meeting people. This can change it in your relationship if you're not living together and you're at a distance, or if it's where you're at a distance and you used to travel, you know, far away. You'll take a plane. Now you can't. Like that's all been taken from you, and you didn't think that this was going to take place for this long, because I know we didn't.
No, we thought it was just gonna be a couple weeks until.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, we're gonna plan for June.
Yeah, and it's got to be.
Let's go on vacation.
Yeah. And it's got to be real tough for people like that had plans to travel the entire year, 4 or 5 trips, and now they can't. Some will take the risk and still go. I know my dad took a week or had a week off from work and went to go visit his wife and my sister in Georgia. And he sent me photos of the airport and nobody was there. And then he told me like there was probably like 50 people, maybe less on the airplane. And he missed his family, so he wanted to go. He took that risk, and I told him to really be careful because you're not a young man, and you want to be careful when you're traveling, and but people are willing to take that risk because they did not expect this to happen. It's like, listen, I still need to go and see my family. I still need to go and visit my wife, my girlfriend, whatever the case may be. It's got to be real tough to alter your life based on what you didn't expect was going to happen. And this is what life is all about. You go through life with this tunnel vision of what you think is going to happen, and then boom, something just comes in and shifts it. And it's like, this is when you're tested. What do you do now?
Like, do you just give up and you're just like, okay, well, or do you just like, all right, now you have to put your feelings to the side. No, wrong. Not you have to put your feelings to the side. You have to accept it.
I think that's the hardest part, right? Accepting the changes, because you have your one vision this way.
Yeah, and it's the same
and then
thing.
it's just
yeah, it's like once you come to accepting that, then I think you're able to have a hold on the new changes.
Yeah.
And then now be like, okay, you know what? I accepted. This is what's gonna be. Now on to the new changes and move forward.
Yeah.
But when you're still
take on the challenge.
Well, this is how I used to be. This is how I used to be. And this goes into like relationships before. Like, how in the beginning of relationship, you're like, well, in the beginning of the relationship, this is how I used to be.
Yeah,
and then things
Jesse says that sometimes too. In the beginning, you would, I'm like.
And then it's like, there's some shift, but it doesn't necessarily is like so negative, but it's just that I mean, we've spoken about this before. Changes is good. So it's like,
Yeah.
if it's shifting, you just have to accept it and then be like, okay, am I, gonna move on to the next, or am I gonna be stuck on yesterday?
Yeah, the funny thing that you mentioned in the beginning, everybody says it's the honeymoon stage, right? And I look at that funny because if that is the honeymoon stage, why doesn't that extend the entire
Yeah,
relationship?
why does it stop?
Why does it stop, right?
So something must have stopped.
Yeah, so when Jesse said, you said something to me the other day, like, oh, you used to want to talk to me all the time. And I told her, I said, we do talk all the time, but we're not going to have 3-hour conversations like we used to. I can't ask you the same questions that I already
'cause
know.
You're getting to in that. Oh my God, that's a topic of itself, right? Because you don't know each other.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
gonna speak more.
Yeah, you're gonna speak more.
Want to be interested in each other's life and
Yeah.
what was your past and everything.
Mhm.
When you in the beginning and you're gathering so much information, it's so much information, and then it's like, okay, you're used to it and you're just dealing with each other and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's gonna slow down, and then that's when it's like, I think that's where it stops. But people are like, why are you not talking to me for this long?
Yeah.
But it's like, well, in the beginning I didn't know you, so I'm trying to get to know you. I'm gonna speak to you for hours
Yeah.
and hours and hours.
Yeah.
Like, our first talk that we had it was 4 hours long.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're not gonna be away from each other and be like, let me speak to you for 4 hours. Why? We were just together. Like, we just
Yeah.
know everything about each other already.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
so.
And I think as time goes on in the relationship, those long conversations become less and less. And that's something that you have to adjust
Yes.
and find new things to talk about. And
Either new things to talk about, or just or do things together where
yeah.
it's opening conversation, or just accept for what it is to be together and be in silent and just still appreciate each
Yeah.
other in silence.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have to talk all the time, and then
Yeah.
once you stop talking, that's it. Like, something is missing if you guys stop talking.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's just, if you could, like, if me and you are in a room and we're not talking, I'm okay with it.
yeah, I'm perfectly fine
I'm
with
not
that.
thinking like, well,
Why is she not talking to me?
Yeah, like, something's going on with you.
Yeah.
Why are you changed? Because you haven't spoken.
You
to
haven't-
Like, no, I think that has been good with us.
Yeah.
I think you get to that. You work yourself that to
Yeah.
have an understanding of your relationship. But
Yeah.
if you're feeling like, well, something is missing, maybe something there is missing, or a conversation that's missing that you need to have, where both of you are securing each other and that level.
Yeah.
Right?
Or even before, like, where the engagement, where it's like you want to, as time goes on, you may not want to as much like you were before. It's like, oh, I can't wait to tell her about this, this, and this. Now it's like, I'll just tell her one of those things, because the other things she don't really need to know.
Sometimes you want to just overly do or say stuff.
Yeah.
But
Like, you're gonna tell them everything you did in your day.
yeah, like, sometimes you just summarize it, right?
Yeah.
But just
Like, work was good.
don't lose that either. Like,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
lose what brought you guys together either, because some people then get comfortable and they're like, oh, well, I already know you. I don't need to do these things, or I don't need to do these cute things, or I don't
Yeah.
need to romance you or love you, or like in the beginning, and that's where people fall off from. But
yeah, man, I think that's where we really bond well. Like, we have a great understanding, and I hope you guys understand where we're coming from, and hope that you didn't expect too much from us today.
the word.
Yeah, but thank you guys for joining us on
Yes.
our 36th episode. We love you guys.
Hope you're staying safe.
Yeah, and this is our story.
We're sticking to it.
See you guys later.
Adios.